Hi Virgo, here's a general look at your solar chart for June 2012. Before I speak about that, I just want to mention Neptune. Neptune has begun its long transit through your opposite sign, Pisces, and you early Virgos might be feeling the influence of that Neptune vibe at the moment. It could be manifesting it as a feeling of confusion or uncertainty or suspicion, or in fact could be unfounded or well-founded suspicion about someone in a professional or personal relationship, or maybe somebody in that relationship is leaning on you or being a hassle or deceiving you in some way, or it just feels like if you're on the negative side of Neptune, the whole thing is just unrealistic and you're not seeing clearly enough, and you tend to put people on a pedestal as well. You tend to want to save them. Well, that's a Virgo thing anyway. It is also a Pisces thing too, so this is why I thought it was worth a mention, is that really I can't say anything to stop you learning your lessons, but I need to put it out there anyway, because somebody might have been feeling that maybe they're telling themselves porky pies, which is lies, and really believing though, but having maybe behind that a feeling that this doesn't feel like solid ground to me, and it could very well be. So if you've got lingering doubts or feeling of confusion, or somebody is really perhaps taking advantage, and you put up your hand like the good little servant that you are and said, no, I'll do it, it's okay. Make sure you've got your boundaries in place, Virgo, because you can't run on empty, nobody can, and you should be fine, and just take time to sit down with yourself and perhaps with somebody else and get things, if you can, get things clear between you, and avoid putting others on a pedestal if you can, or let them lean not too much on you, or in fact you lean too much on them, because then you give your power away. So I just thought I'd mention that, particularly being felt by early Virgos at the moment, but Neptune's going to be in your opposite sign for over a decade, so it'll be pulsing through the whole of Virgo, as it goes forwards, but in diminishing sort of amounts as it gets further away from the degree it's sitting on at the moment. Anyway, for the month ahead, in June, you will probably be more conscious of your overall direction in life, and how it may be being affected by circumstances, conditions around you at the moment, or other people around you at the moment, or the actions and the decisions and then actions that you may be taking now. So for some reason you may be more aware of a reputation or image, or where do I go from here with my general direction. You may be more aware of presentation skills, or in fact how something is being presented and you're just standing behind it, and you'll be keener to make the right decision, or perhaps making a good impression in the right circles at the right time, and just feeling a bit under the spotlight at times. Some of you, though, could be dealing more with the hierarchy, or with officials, or with red tape, perhaps, or maybe you're having more to do with parental figures, or guardian figures, and whether they're potential ones or actual ones, or others who are just important to you in a public or professional sort of sense. So this is a good time for you to take a firm line, show authority, and show yourself as competent, be confident in yourself. So do not set too high a standard for yourself, because nobody can do that. Give yourself a break. You wouldn't be here, if you could achieve that perfection that you Virgos tend to go for. You need to be here to learn the lessons slowly, so don't set the bar too high, don't expect too much of yourself, and then you'll be fine. You need that confidence, and listen to your gut knowing about things. It's not all about stuff in the head. You could get a little frustrated at times with the restrictions imposed upon you by certain people or certain situations in that area there. But I don't think there's much chance of that. I think if there is, then it could turn out okay, because you've also got Venus there, which is very good news for you. That does mean that authority figures, parents, guardian figures, bosses, potential or actual, you could have a social relationship with them. There could be an ally, in the halls of power, as it were. That's me, using the wrong sort of metaphor there, but it's somebody who can pull strings and they're on your side, put it that way. And it could be a female. Venus tends to be more of a female kind of energy, but it also could be lucrative for you, because somebody could be invaluable to your success, somebody who is in some sort of position to give you a boost or a leg up the ladder, and facilitates you in some way, and that could turn into cash for you. Someone, if it's not like that, someone could just be playing a supportive role, maybe a mothering role, and helping you to just shepherding you, guiding you to make the right move in the right direction at the right time, or making the right impression at the right time. And some of you may have a much more positive interaction, though, with people that we don't expect to get on well with, like people in positions of power, authority figures, officials, and so on. But even if it's maybe a bit sticky at first, it will kind of tend, the cards tend to be stacked in your favour. Having said all that, up until the 27th, Venus is going retrograde, so it might be a little bit harder work once you get things as you'd like them to be, having to be a bit more patient, a bit more painstaking. But you can do that. That's easy for you, Virgo. Now, Jupiter enters this area on the 12th to stay for about 12 months. Wow, well, that's great news for you. This is Jupiter right up at the top of your solar chart, and it will be the path of expansion in that area of your career, of your outer image, of your general direction in life. That tends to be good news, but more on that later as the time unfolds. The lunar eclipse on the 4th is also happening in this area, and that will tend to trigger new beginnings, fresh starts over the subsequent months. So if you can, take one action, or set your foot in that direction around about the 4th if you can, and this will have this knock-on effect over around about a month subsequent to that. Now, your ruling planet is in an area, is in the same area, in fact, about where do I go from here with my life, or what is the next, step up the ladder here. So again, discussions and meetings or correspondence or paperwork could be centered around career, life direction, some kind of new project or enterprise, and those who could facilitate your plans are also highlighted. And you may find your goals and schemes are being validated or rejected by the reactions of others and the way things are unfolding, the way the wind is blowing. So you'll be inclined, though, to put mental effort into expressing yourself in the best way you possibly can, so as to get things across in the way you want them, and then to get the result that you desire. Also, another way this can work is that vehicles or communications equipment may also be emphasized. You may have to get your head around certain things with communications equipment or vehicles. And then between the 7th to the 26th, Mercury puts the mental focus upon furthering your aims through contacts and friendships, new ones, old ones, or some kind of club, group, organization, some kind of other type of group involvement. Maybe it's each one person at a time, maybe it's a whole collective, but that will be over the wires or in person, but it can be over the wires, because this is a very techie sort of area, techno area, or an area that's breaking new ground in some way, and anything to do with the internet would come under that heading there. Discussions and ideas will tend to be forward-moving, progressive, future-orientated, and may get you thinking along very different lines. And then from the 26th, then your mind tends to pull in, you start to ponder things, mull things over, you get more introspective and perhaps more sensitive and subtle energies, and to your emotional self as well. But just watch out that you don't fall down that same old hole in the road because you've done that knee-jerk response to a certain trigger, and you'll be fine. Great to get to be in a little bubble of working behind the scenes in some way, or in a private sort of little space. But it's time for nurture there, time for sort of chilling out and maybe doing some meditating or healing type work too. Now, this is the last full month Mars is going to be in your sign, Virgo, and it will be affecting you Virgos born from the 6th of September onwards, or with around about 13 degrees rising at the moment, over the month of June and then into just the first week of July. So overall, you will have had the clarity or energy over these many months. Mars has been in your sign, this is going back to last November, and you will continue to have the clarity and the energy to deal with whatever is thrown across your path in life, and you won't be backwards in coming forwards with getting the ball rolling on things, which you need, you need to do. You need to seize the day and be decisive and proactive, whether you're in the mood or not, because oftentimes we don't feel like it, but it's there to do. And this is also your opportunity to get on with whatever program you need to improve things for yourself, your emotional self, your physical self, your mental self, your spiritual self. And Mars does not like hanging around, and so you shouldn't procrastinate. Once you've thought something through, just make sure you think it through, because impatience and hasty action is Mars's weaker side. So just watch your step as you go forward. But once you thought it through, then you need to get out there and be the one that is in the lead, be the one that initiates, because maybe there's nobody else that's going to do it now. Or, just bite the bullet and get on with it. In general, this long transit of Mars inclines you to be most decisive about things which may have been up and in the air and very uncertain over last October and November. And so over these months you can get a huge amount accomplished, particularly for yourself personally, health, exercise, diet, and you find yourself getting plunged into situations which demand more leadership from you. It demands that you're motivated and you're working harder and taking decisions. So I'm sure many of you will know that more of that type of thing has been happening since last November. Different kind of energy to the Saturn energy that you had a couple of years back, or maybe three years or so back, but 3-4 years now, gosh. But still it's a much faster, feistier energy, and others may have seen you as maybe a little bit pushy, a little bit over the top at times, because with Mars in your sign, that bold, confident, well, that bold energy, that energy that wants action and you want it the way you want it now, kind of comes through you. But by the time this transit's finished, you should have got the ball rolling on various things in your life and be ready for the next chapter, and that's going to begin in July. Now from the 21st, you enter a more progressive phase when friendships, networking or group gatherings are going to be more highlighted. And that's it for June. Here I've been speaking about the faster moving inner planets, but you need to set this against the background of the slower moving outer planets. And you'll go to my website. If you go there, if you're not there already, you can see what they're doing and how they may be affecting which part of your sign at the moment in June. You can read all that there. Also on here you can go and find your rising sign or your moon sign if you know them, and then you will be able to take which bits you need from those two and put together the whole puzzle and maybe get something which makes some sense to you for the month of June. And hope that helps, and I'll see you the next time.